Dear all, welcome to our webinar. This is part of the training activities of the NBS EduWORLD project. I'm Thalia Tsaknia, physicist and member of the Research and Development Department of Ellinogermaniki Agogi. And my work focuses on teacher upskilling, curriculum development, and instructional design with a special focus on environmental and climate education. That's why I'm very pleased to have you today with us to discuss what are the elements of a successful proposal in order to get funding for your professional development and, of course, the appropriate training, especially in the field of environmental education, the need for which is more important than ever. And, of course, is one of the main priorities of the Erasmus Plus program. Our agenda for today includes a very short presentation of the project and the international course that will be offered during 2024 by NBS EduWORLD project. And of course, the presentation of Mr. Sotiriou, expert on the field of education and training and head of the R&D department and the Teachers Training Center of Ellinogermaniki Agogi. Before we start, I want to present to you also Mr. Lukas Katikas. We are working together on the project. Lukas, you have the floor for a few minutes.
Yes, thank you, Thalia. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in today's webinar. My name is Lukas Katikas, and along with Thalia, we're working together on, let's say, sustainability-related topics and education for sustainable development, and also in the NBS EduWORLD project. I'm an environmentalist with a strong focus on aspects like competencies development, training, and different areas, let's say, or thematic topics for focusing on sustainability education. Thank you once again for joining today. I will support today. I will be providing comments here on chat. I will be raising your questions. Feel free to ask questions. And we hope that you will find it interesting and you will enjoy today's seminar.
So, thank you, Lukas. The NBS EduWORLD project started 1.5 years ago, bringing together the education community, researchers, practitioners, and local communities with main objective and vision to mainstream nature-based solutions in education. Our work, together with Lukas in the project, focuses on introducing creative thinking and innovation in school education and designing activities aimed at developing students' green competencies. By finding solutions to everyday problems and in parallel addressing the challenges of the 21st century through the study of nature and the ways that nature has found to solve similar problems, by discussing and designing green intervention inside and outside the school, with the participation of parents and external stakeholders, the school gradually is transformed. Such a school is an open school that involves local communities in the teaching and the learning process, and therefore is an incubator of innovation. When students and teachers collaborate with experts and the local communities in the framework, for example, of a living lab, co-design and implement solutions, they develop the knowledge and skills to live and act in a sustainable manner. So education is coming at the heart of society and is becoming integral to local community development, since open schooling activities can stimulate real scientific work and are inspired from local needs and problems. On the other hand, nature-based solutions are approaches that come to respond to many challenges of our time, social and environmental. Such solutions include green walls and roofs, rain gardens, the food system transformation, and many others. So what we are doing? We integrate nature-based solutions in the educational process following a participatory and holistic approach that involves both the school and the local community. Some examples you can see already in this and also in the next slide from different schools in Paris, London, Athens, Armenia, and Oslo. They are examples of greening the curricula and promoting sustainability citizenship. And in these examples, all the school community is on board. The building and its areas are becoming part of the learning process. There is also an extensive use of digital tools and learning methods such as the inquiry-based, the outdoor, the experiential, and the scientific, and always active involvement of the local communities and the external stakeholders. As you can see, students participate in all stages of a farm-to-fork school or community garden, construct a sustainable drainage system and choose the suitable plants for it, together with gardeners and engineers, design together with architects their schoolyard of their dreams, maybe, or they learn how to produce honey from beekeepers. In all the examples, the schools are acting as shared sites of learning for which teachers, students, and the local community share responsibility and from which they all benefit. As mentioned earlier, the Living Lab methodology, which is briefly presented here, creates the right conditions for the introduction and use of a nature-based solution in schools, as it brings knowledge and expertise of external professionals into the school, thus enhancing the knowledge and the confidence of teachers. Teachers are expected to do and know everything, but in such a rapidly changing world, this is not easy and it is very demanding. That's why by involving other expert professionals in the teaching and learning process through the creation of the Living Labs, we also support the professional development of teachers both directly in the field and indirectly. And this last one brings me to the main subject of today's webinar, which is the learning opportunity offered by the project, and with which ways teachers can get financial support for their learning mobility activities and, of course, for their school's development plan. So from 30th of June to the 5th of July 2024, the NBS EduWORLD Summer School is organized in Greece with main objectives, understanding of the basic aspects of nature-based solutions, the exploration of the Living Lab methodology and the whole school approach as useful ways to integrate nature-based solution in school, the familiarization with appropriate learning approaches in order to use them when integrating nature-based solutions in the classroom, the provision also and exchange of resources and good practices, the integration of the Green Comp, the European Green Comp framework in the educational activities, and finally, the participation in an active teaching and learning community of practice for sustainability education. More details regarding the summer school are available, of course, on the course page, which we will send you also now in the chat. And with all this in mind, and of course, after your questions, it's time to give the floor to Mr. Sotiriou to share with us useful tips and guidance for preparing a proposal. That, of course, can lead us to get funding for participating in activities such as this of the NBS EduWORLD project. So I can see now the chat. I don't know if we have questions.
There are no questions so far, but we have already posted the link for the NBS EduWORLD project, and of course the link for the NBS EduWORLD Summer School are here on chat, and I will keep posting again and again those links because they're really helpful. But no questions so far, so I think we can move on.
And then we will have the time to discuss if any questions is on board. So, Mr. Sotiriou, you have the floor.
Thalia, thank you so much. Please, let's stay in the previous on slide number 7 for a moment, because as you have shared with me some comments from the participants even before this seminar. So I would like, before entering, let's say, to the discussion about the general framework for Erasmus, it is really important to highlight, especially as there is interest in the specific field, to highlight the relation of NBS with, let's say, the key priorities of Erasmus, because this is going to be the main bridge, I would say, for offering to the colleagues the opportunity to have a successful proposal. So I will refer to NBS and to the structure that is presented in this slide, and then I will try to develop the whole process of the preparation of the application. We are going to see later, I think it's really the very last slide, the different priorities that you have to have a very close look and let's say read very carefully, also by consulting your national agency before submitting an application. But there are some general priorities for Erasmus Plus program, and this goes through all the actions, not only the KA1 mobility proposals where we are focusing here. So these are 4 key, let's say, priorities. The first one is the green Erasmus, the digital Erasmus, the inclusive Erasmus, and the democratic Erasmus. So you understand from the titles, the content of the related actions that one has to ask for funding in order to, let's say, to meet the objectives of the program. So when we are preparing a proposal, clearly it has to focus in at least in one of these 4 areas. If there is the opportunity to combine more, it is really very important. For example, NBS EduWORLD is combining at least 2 of these thematic areas by focusing, of course, on green issues and more specifically on nature-based solutions, which is a very innovative aspect. On the other hand, you will see also by looking to the documentation of the program and the project that the digital component is very important, related to the community building, related to the resources available, related to the scenarios that can be developed. So all of them are highly dependent on the use of technological solutions, and this is an aspect that activates, let's say, the second priority of Erasmus program. So this slide is coming really from the website of the course that Thalia and Lucas will share with you. So if you are looking for a course, then you have to look very carefully on the objectives of the course. All courses are describing step by step the objectives. And this is the starting point of your application, because your application, as you will see, is starting from the needs of your school. So we have to make a very clear and it has to be obvious to the reviewer that there is a strong connection, a strong link between the objectives of the course and the needs of the school. Okay, so as I see, for example, there is the audience is dominated by Greek participants. One idea could be that my school, let's say, especially speaking for primary school and lower secondary schools, you can say that wants to implement activities in the skills labs. εργαστήρια δεξιοτήτων for the Greek participants. And there we would like to design a number of activities related to nature-based solutions, climate change, and how, for example, our school building could be possibly developed further. We have not changed any slide. I'm still discussing on the slide number 7. Another case, let's say for all participants, could be the implementation of Green Comp, the development of skills of the student. So one can say in the application that we would like to prepare a proposal where we will get support to train our teachers to implement the Green Comp framework. So in this case, this is a course that could be selected from the applicant in order to help the teachers to develop the, let's say, scenarios, activities, whole program to support the development of key competencies for the students. Okay, having this in mind as an introduction, Thalia, let's move to the main presentation. We are coming from Ellinogermaniki Agogi. Ellinogermaniki Agogi is a private school located in Athens, in the east part of Attica. We have a quite big, let's say, target group with more than 2,000 students, 250 teachers. And we are, let's say, in operation for many years, developing research projects and activities on how we can introduce innovation in the school setting, starting from our school, but our idea is really to expand this to a larger community, not only in Greece, but also in numerous European countries. And in this framework, we are organizing a number of courses, mainly let's say the core node for these courses is taking place here in Athens in the beginning of July. And we are bringing together numerous teachers from different countries to work together on common projects. And in the specific case, we will explore together how a school can make an application in order to participate in these courses. I would like to highlight from the beginning that as these courses are taking place in Greece, the courses organized from Ellinogermaniki Agogi, they are not eligible for Greek participants. So the Greek participants have to follow our website to check for courses that are taking place abroad if they want to make an application and receive Erasmus Plus funding. Now, as far as the specific course on nature-based solutions is concerned, especially for the Greek participants, we will have a number of scholarships. We will propose a process in order also to give the opportunity to some Greek participants to participate in this course. But in general, you have to know that an Erasmus KA1 application is for participating to courses, to training, to professional development opportunities or job shadowing opportunities that are taking place abroad. Okay, so I have to say that in the period, for the period 2021 till 2027, the European Commission is investing a huge amount of funding on teachers' mobility, and this is considered as a major priority of the Erasmus Plus program. So we would like to encourage you to make an effort, because it is significant effort, and clearly there are numerous duties for the teachers and the school heads, but it really deserves the effort and the time that will be invested to make such an effort, because it's really a unique opportunity for the school and for the students, but among all for the teachers themselves. So some key issues. The first one, applications are submitted by the school, not by individual. Okay, so this is a very important aspect. So I can submit an application. It's not only for myself, but it is also for my colleagues. It can cover, let's say, a number of members of the staff of the school, teachers with different, let's say, teaching different subjects. It could be for the school head, it could be for teachers, but it could be for the whole school staff. You have to check, let's say, the size, the usual size that it is of the project. And this can be found, for example, by looking estimating the average funding that it is allocated to the approved proposals. All national agencies for Erasmus Plus program announce every year the selected proposals, the selected projects, and someone can see how much money are allocated. In principle, the amount can be quite high, but usually there is the recommendation, especially for newcomers, to submit an application that it is, let's say, quite small, in order to be able to control and manage it in the best way. So I would say an amount between 10,000 and 20,000 euros is something realistic. And you can make an application for example, 1 year or 2 years in order to support the trips, the accommodation and the subsistence of the teachers in participating in these kind of courses. So, for example, we can submit an application for NBS EduWORLD. It could be in the same application. Of course, this has to be identifying the needs. We will see in the first section of the application that will follow. It could be a course for leadership, school leadership, where the school heads or the vice head could participate. It could be a course related to STEM, to robotics, to coding, physics, languages, history, learning with new technologies, and so on. Everything can be integrated in the same application. So you can ask at the end funding for example, 10 teachers or 15 teachers to travel to different locations around Europe, abroad always, in order to get training in the specific area. So this is very important. Plus, there is an additional activity. It's not only professional development, but it's not officially, let's say, professional development. Still, it considers a way of professional development, the so-called job shadowing opportunity. So you can apply for visiting another school. This school has to be member of the application. In this case, you have to have a partner in the application in order to visit them and teach a specific subject, following an innovative approach, for example, to their students. And the same can be applied for the colleague who is coming from the other country. This is, let's say, for the case where, of course, teachers are fluent in the language of the participating countries. And it could be an ideal case, for example, for schools between, let's say, Germany and Austria, Greece and Cyprus, or in cases where the teacher, as I said, they are fluent in the specific language. So there is only one application, and it can cover all these areas. Now, what is really new the last last 2 years really is the in order the Commission to simplify the process and not imposing, let's say, to schools to repeat their plans and the detailed description of the needs, let's say the overall vision they have for the development of their schools. They have introduced the accreditation procedure. So the school is applying once for the whole duration of the project. It presents the vision. I mean, the school leaders are presenting the vision where the school wants to go. Thalia mentioned before, the idea is to create an open school environment. This cannot be done with a single course. So you can say, my plan is to make my school, to transform really my school in an open environment, collaborating with external stakeholders, introducing innovation and so on. So I would like to train my teachers in these specific areas. And this is not part, let's say, of the initial application. This is the accreditation proposal. And then every year, the school has the opportunity to make a simpler application only by defining the courses that are related, their objectives are related to the needs that are described in the Erasmus Plus development plan. And then the process is much simpler for these schools to receive funding and continue their work. So keep that in mind. Of course, you can always make the full application. There is no problem with that. So without having the accreditation, but I would say the accreditation scheme is really very helpful because someone can present the overall plan to only once. So let's proceed to the next steps. Clearly, the accreditation process includes a number of quality standards, and you have to read very carefully all these, let's say, significant information that is available in the program guide and defines the quality standards for the Erasmus Plus. The most important one is to meet the key priorities of the program. Here I would like to mention that in some cases, the national agencies are defined specific priorities. So before submitting your proposal, it is important to have a look to the website of the national agency where you are going to submit the application in order to make sure that your proposal is in line with the Erasmus Plus priorities. This is a very important step in the overall process. Okay, so the award criteria, these are also announced. We have let's say retrieve this information from the website of the Commission. So from the moment that you are reaching a score above 70, in principle, the proposal is eligible for funding, taking into consideration, of course, that there is budget available because the budget is fixed per country. So if the number of proposals that are above you, for example, if you score 78, for example, it is approved, let's say in principle, but if there are no funds to support the number of proposals that are above 78, then you are staying at the reserve list. Either maybe some of these projects are not realized at the end and there is budget available, or maybe for some reason, by transferring funding from previous years and so on, maybe the budget can be increased at the end and still you have the opportunity. In the reserve list, there is again a ranking and they are selecting from time to time some projects to be funded. So this is the process. The quality criteria include the relevance. Here, the relation between the proposal objectives, the priorities of Erasmus, and the key objectives of the course is the issue that is going to be discussed more than any else. So, Thalia, let's proceed to the next one. So here we have prepared some tips. I just want to say that as this is a short presentation, our presentation includes numerous links. So at any time you can have a look to the presentation. You can click and get direct access to the links provided, to the information provided from the European Commission.
And also, Mr. Sotiriou, sorry to interrupt, we also sent all the links now to the chat. And of course, at the end of the webinar, we will send the presentation.
Okay, so 3 key points we would like to highlight, because these are also the key areas, the key parts of the application. The first one is the identification of needs. You have to work a lot on this section, because this is, let's say, the starting point, and here is also the point where the reviewers are going to say, yes, this is a case where they have clearly described the needs. They have, it's a very obvious that this school, because of this and this reason, needs the support. And this can be because there are, for example, a school is located in a rural area and there are not many opportunities. So it's really very important to support the school. It could be really in a problematic environment, to have students from different backgrounds, having problems in the organization and so on. So again, we have to support the schools, but also it could be a school that is not facing any problem, but it wants, let's say, to upgrade the level of the teachers to meet the requirements of the new interventions, current reforms, and so on. In the introduction of NBS and all issues related to climate change, environmental issues, environmental protection, and so on, currently are a high priority. And it is clear that although numerous investments have been done the previous years, things are not working so well. So there is always space for improvement. So in this area, clearly one can say, I would like to focus on activities that are related to climate change. I would like to introduce my teachers to the Green Comp. By supporting, let's say, the different initiatives of the European Commission, clearly one expects to receive quite good, let's say, marks and have the opportunity to have his or her proposal approved. So here we are highlighting some areas, but I would like to say, because we have received a number of comments before this seminar, to become more specific. The idea is not to offer you an application here. The important parameter of this exercise is for you to define the key needs of your school. And based on that, as soon as you have defined the key needs, we are able to provide you support in order to connect these needs with the offered courses and activities. But first, it has to start from you. You have to design the needs because you know much better than anybody else the school environment where you are working. And if you describe that in the best way, then this will be very well received from the reviewers. So in this section, we identify the needs, okay? And this has to be in close relation with the objectives of the course that we are going to ask funding to participate to. So in principle, we are filling this part first, but we have to have in mind for which courses we are aiming to. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, the second one is to describe exactly these mobility and cooperation activities. Mobility activities are related to the participation to a number of courses for the staff. Cooperation activities related to job shadowing opportunities in cooperation with other schools. We have, let's say, introduced to the Green Comp. We are following a course for Green Comp. We see which are the key skills, how we have to focus on them, how we can develop activities that are promoting the Green Comp. And then we would like to organize with another school in another country a job shadowing opportunity, a job shadowing project in order to test them in different environments and get experiences, because learning from each other is a very important professional development activity in the framework of Erasmus, okay? So here, the needs are translated, are transformed to practical examples. I have the specific need, I will follow the specific course. I would like to make this intervention in my school, I have to follow the specific course to get ideas on how to do it. I would like to cooperate in the new project. I can organize this job shadowing opportunity with another school that has expertise in order to get significant information and experiences about that. So this is how the part 1 and part 2 have to be connected, okay? There is one important point here, especially if you are planning to apply for a quite big project and ask for mobility funding for numerous teachers. You have to take into account that if the teachers are leaving the school, you have to have a way in order to keep the lessons running and keep the school operating as usual. So if you say, for example, that 5 or 6 or more teachers are leaving on the same week from the school, you have to demonstrate that you have considered the consequences of this and how you are going to deal with this problem in order for the school to continue its operation with no problem. So, for example, the NBS course is taking place during the summer period, so it's not intervene with school operation. On the other hand, it's taking place during the teacher's break, and there are cases where the teachers, for example, they don't want to devote their vacation time. So maybe you have to look for other courses, but then make a nice distribution, I would say, of the participations, let's say, of the different teachers to the course during the school year, in order to avoid receiving negative points, criticism for not taking into account the school operation. Okay, so because the priority is the school operation, is not, I mean, professional development is very important, but the first priority is the school operation. And we can go to the next one, to the third point. So the course has been organized. We have been there. We have get significant feedback from the course organizers and so on. And now we are back to the school. What is the next step? How we are going to share what we have learned with our colleagues. how we can share these ideas, these scenarios, these materials with the school community. But also according to the project, if, for example, we are speaking for the school operating as an NBS living lab that Thalia said, we have to demonstrate that we are capable to expand these activities beyond the school walls. So the school is acting as an NBS hub to the local community, for example. This will be part of the course. So in the follow-up, you have to demonstrate that, for example, when you are coming back, you are organizing an open day, presenting numerous ideas and designing projects, co-designing projects with the local community, at least with significant impact to the local community. I would like to say that the Erasmus Plus program is funding. I mean, there is an amount, a fixed amount for each participant that goes directly to the school. So this is extra to the travel costs, subsistence fees, and so on. So the school can have a significant amount of funding to organize this kind of activities, to publish a leaflet, to create a website where it's presenting the activities organized, and so on and so forth. So this is really very, very important. And of course, how all this experience is going to be used in the everyday teaching work and in practical terms during the school operation. Okay, we can proceed. The application is being submitted to the national agency. There are specific guidelines about the process. First, the school has to get a PIC number, as it is called, and then in the different phases of the application, the administrative data, they will be filled in, and then we proceed to the core part of the application. Let's move to the next slide. The application is different if we are submitting a full proposal without, let's say, for a school that it is not accredited, while it is much simpler for accredited schools that have been received the accreditation. So they are just resubmitting applications every year in order to meet the overall plan that was described as the school development plan in the accreditation documentation. But as I said, every school can submit an application without the accreditation procedure, but they will need to describe their overall plan, how, let's say, the foreseen activities for which they are asking funding, how they are going to form an integrated development process for the school itself. Okay, let's proceed. One important issue, taking also into account the fact that in many schools teachers are changing from one year to the other, because we are making an application now, but the funding is going to be received for the next year or for the year after. So maybe the teachers have changed and so on. So it's not really necessary to define the names and the exact persons that they are going to travel. Still, you have to describe the profile of the participant. For example, to say that the science teachers or the informatics teachers are going to travel, or the school head or the vice head is going to travel because he has the responsibility for this kind of activities and so on. When we are coming to the section related to the preparation of the participants, it is important to consult the information on the related link, let's say, of the course, to see what is necessary for this preparation and demonstrate that you have read very carefully this information and you are ready for that. Also, the program foresees linguistic support for participants who are not fluent, for example, in English. Courses can be organized and covered financially for the preparation of these participants. And in some cases, you can ask financial support for an English language teacher, for example, to participate with the science teachers, for example, in order to support them during the course. We have seen this in many occasions, and this is something that it is fully eligible. It's important also to include some aspects related to the evaluation because, okay, we can say that we have followed this course. This is based clearly on the description of the course on the website, to the contact with the organizers and so on. Still, we would like all of us, organizers and participants, to let's say become better. So always a component related to evaluation is very important, and this has to be included in the follow-up section of the application. Here we have detailed description, the instructions. In case that you want to apply for the NBS course, all the information is under EZIA website. EZIA is, let's say, an integrated service that is offering numerous courses across Europe. So you can consult the website and you can see the upcoming courses, and you can focus, for example, to the NBS EduWORLD course. Or you can consult the national agency, your national agency, and there you can you can come in contact with them, discuss with them your idea. There are also info days organized by the national agencies where you can attend and you can ask questions and get further support is needed when it is needed. The most important in this case is to explore if there are specific priorities in your country. And this information is coming directly from the Erasmus Plus National Agency. So for sure you have to consult them at some point before preparing and finalizing your application. Let's move to the we are coming now to the end. This is the Erasmus Plus program guide. It is quite a long document, but you have only to focus on school education and KA1 action. Here we have highlighted the key priorities of Erasmus: inclusion and diversity, digital transformation, participation in democratic life, common values and civic engagement, and fight against climate change. The fact is that work activities, projects on environmental education in most of the cases include most of the previous, let's say, priorities. Especially, for example, if we are referring to schools that are located in rural areas, clearly the inclusion part is also highlighted. So I believe that it is a thematic area that offers numerous opportunities for funding, either focusing on the green com, either focusing on the development on green competencies, either focusing on innovative pedagogies. In most of the cases, themes related to the environment are currently very high in the agendas. I think if you select this topic, the chances are quite high. So I
I
think we can have questions or comments, or we would be happy to react and answer.
Also, feel free to post any questions on the chat, or you can even turn on the microphone.
Yes, Armel.
Thank you very much. Hello. Thank you very much for the presentation so far. I have a quick question. Well, maybe not quick. We've been doing school exchanges for nearly 14 years with a school in France. We've lost that exchange during COVID and find now very difficult to regain an interest on our side and on the French side to from students to rekindle or to restart that school exchange. And that school exchange was 100% funded by the students. So the French school contacted me about maybe 3-4 months ago and asking if we would like to do an exchange through with an Erasmus Plus grant. My question is that if we do an exchange with Erasmus Plus with the grant, is there a specific title we should be looking at? Is it the movement? I can't remember actually the title. Is it K152 or K1?
Look, for this,
like that. It's the movement of
for this kind of activities, because here in principle you are referring to a common project between 2 schools or maybe more. I would really recommend to you to look also to KA2 school partnerships, where you can have let's say the opportunity to design a common project. Let's say you can say that the 2 schools will work together to develop NBS related activities. Thalia presented a big number of them. In one, it could be the building. In the other one, it could be the school canteen. In the, it's up to you, of course, and according to the interest. But
what did you say the title of the program was? It's K1, K2. What did you mention?
It's KA2 school partnerships, and we can let's say if you send us an email, we can provide you directly the information and the links and the specific pages of the work program for this kind of activity.
Okay, shall I email Sophocles or Thalia or both?
Yeah, I mean it's the same.
It's
the same. You can send it to each one of us.
To Thalia. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll do so. Just because we were thinking that we should be really working on a similar project, but not necessarily equal project. Am I right?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. That was my question.
This is offering a bit more opportunities for funding, for your school.
Okay.
This is important because you said that you lost interest, and here you have the chance also to raise some funding for the school, to buy some equipment. It could be some basic equipment to do the job of the project. It could be some project materials and so on. So such a project is offering this opportunity to you. So it's a bit beyond just a funding scholarship, because in principle KA1 is a scholarship for the teachers, to participate in a professional development course. So in case that you need a bit more, maybe it's better to be combined with an integrated project to demonstrate that the 2 schools are cooperating.
And when we apply, we tell them immediately, or we tell in the application that we would like to work with such school in France.
Yes, he's a partner. He's a partner,
yeah.
And in principle, it is in principle you have to look very carefully, because, for example, you are coming from which country are you coming?
France, I think.
Ireland.
Ireland.
No, well,
okay.
And I am
Ireland.
French, okay? But I teach in Ireland.
Yeah. Ireland, so the project is going to be between Ireland and France. So one of the schools can apply. So it's going to be either Irish or French project. So it's very important to select in which country are you applying, because, for example, in Ireland, the green topics they are the top priority. So maybe in Ireland you have more chances. Okay, for the specific topic of the project. Okay.
But the money will be given to both schools.
Yes,
am I right to say that?
Yes. The funding will be for both schools or even for more schools, but still is going to be an Irish or a French project, because it's taking, let's say, the nationality of the coordinator. One of the two schools has to be the coordinator. Okay, so you have to submit to the specific national agency. Yeah. And this is very important. Okay.
Yes. And should the French school do an application as well?
No. Only one application. Only one application. The application is going to be submitted.
And the name of the names of the teacher working together, I should put in when you talk about participants. Yes. I should have half French.
Yes, exactly.
Half Irish based. Okay.
It's going to say beneficiary organization is going to be your school in Ireland, for example. Partners, then you are going to fill in the information from the first French school, the teachers who are going to be involved, and so on and so forth. Both schools must have a PIC number. They have to be registered to the.
So that's done. Okay, that part is done.
System, okay. And then you are fully eligible to include them in the application.
Okay, I didn't realize that. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Soteriou, we have some more questions. Can the same teachers participate in both job shadowing and training within the same project?
Yes, this is not a problem at all. Don't forget that we said that it's not necessary to define the names from the beginning. So in principle, it can be the same people.
Another more, do you know of any funding for an individual teacher to travel to a conference such as Science on Stage?
I mean, the applications under KA1 are referring to schools, okay? So the school has to make the application. If the school is making an application and says that, for example, for our science teachers, the participation to Science on Stage conference or workshop or activity or contest is going to be, you can consider that as a professional development activity, you can still request funding for the participation of this kind of events. I would like to say that participating to conferences, also in cases that they are combined, in some cases like organizations like Excite, that is the European Network of Science Centers and Museums and so on, they are organizing this kind of courses as pre-conference workshops, especially for this purpose, to give the opportunity to participants to come to a workshop, a real training, and then also attend the conference. And then the fee of the conference could be also considered eligible, as long as it is, let's say, in the levels foreseen from Erasmus, because Erasmus has specific limits.
Another question, if it's possible a school or organization to apply for a KA1 and KA2 project in the same time?
Yes, this is possible.
Okay.
And another question.
Yes, Lucas?
Yes, where can we find the list of the institutions offering KA1 programs so as to choose which program suits our organization best?
The European Union is is creating such a service that is currently not fully operational. Till then, you can have a look, for example, to School Education Gateway that announces many of these conferences. There is also a search button, and you can defined the thematic area, science education, rural education, inclusive education, and so on. And you can have an idea about this. There are also some Facebook channels like Erasmus Plus applications, Erasmus Plus is made easy, and this kind of services, but these are focusing in promoting specific courses that are related to the service. But at a European level, currently, I have to say that it is unfortunately a bit delayed. The Commission has not finalized the operation of the new service, so I would recommend the school education portal for the moment.
And one last question, what about the inclusion in the selection of teachers?
Could you please
Yes, the
explain this
what,
a bit further? What
Mrs.
about the
Dalla?
inclusion? What exactly do you mean? This is clearly a matter of the school. I mean, it's up to the school to decide who are the teachers who are going. Okay. So the full responsible for the
question
application
is how we
is
will,
the school head.
yes, how we will select the teachers. I imagine
let me say,
about the criteria.
Yeah, I mean, if there are more teachers, let's say, who want to travel and you have to enter in this process, I would say that you have to send the teachers who have the real need. I mean, the teachers who need training on the specific subject. If there are, let's say, 2 science teachers, and one of them has some expertise in implementing inquiry scenarios, and the other one is really new in the field, and the course is about introducing inquiry learning in science education, the teacher who has no experience has to go. But this is something that the Commission or the national agency cannot verify in principle. So it's up to you to have a balance and a democratic process in order to support all of your teachers. Okay, that's
Okay, I think we don't have any other questions. And so, Mr. Soteriou, I want to thank you for this very informative presentation. Your long time experience and insights on the topic are very useful for all of us. And of course, as we are approaching to the end of the webinar, I would like to thank you all for your participation and for your interest. And I would also like to ask you to fill in the survey that we have sent you in the chat. We will also send you the post survey via email after the webinar, in case you want to complete it later. And since we do not have any questions, bye all. Thank you very much.
Thalia, just to say that feel free to send us an email,
of course,
or use the ESIA website to get further information. And if still there are no things that are clear, we would be happy to answer and guide you, especially in the case that you are interested in NBS EduWORLD course.